I got my brand new 2023 Ford F150 Lightning. Absolutely love it. Few little wrinkles, but I overall love this thing. And I'm going to tell you today why I think it's a great truck for Canadian and American hockey parents when they're hauling their kids around, goalie coaches like myself, and there's a ton of great features in this vehicle. We're also going to talk later on a little bit about some angle terms that I want to clarify, and a word about offside versus offsides. Which is the correct pronunciation / grammar use of the word offside versus offsides. So let's get started and look at some of the top features of the 2023 F150 Lightning. Number one, the first thing I absolutely love about this truck is the frunk. It's automatic up and down with your key fob or a button inside, so it moves up and down on its own. And in the front trunk, I have one in my Ford GT. Also have one in the truck. The difference is here I can actually put goalie equipment, pucks, whatever I want to keep secure, locked up away from prying eyes. In the Ford GT I can put a cheese sandwich or maybe a file folder. So I love the frunk. A couple things about the frunk that you're going to love. It's got a cooler capability with a drain hole in it for ice, so you can put beverages in there. Obviously not adult beverages. Your Red Bulls, your Cokes, whatever you need when you're bringing your kid to a tournament to keep those kids hydrated. So the front trunk, the frunk, is awesome because it has a cooler in it. It also has power outlets, USB-C, and all the outlets you could probably use to charge your camera gear if you're like me making these goofy little YouTube videos. Wi-Fi speakers that you're going to use in the kids' dressing room, a little mini refrigerator, whatever you want. It's got great power outlets in there, so the frunk is an amazing feature. Another feature I absolutely love is the power tailgate. All the F-157, whether electric or not, open it and close it by remote control, and that's nice when you've got a hands-free, your hands aren't free, you're carrying hockey equipment around, just hit the little key fob, down it goes, so I love that. So having that access in the bed with a tailgate that's power up and power down is an awesome feature. Another thing about the bed are the outlets back there as well. They've got your normal standard house outlets, but they also have 240, which is great if you ever wanted to be welding. I'm not sure you're going to be doing that as a hockey parent, but it's got lots of capability that you could use if you want to use the power outlets in the back. Well, one of the primary reasons why I love the F-150 Lightning is it's blanking fast. I don't mean a little fast, I mean significantly fast. This is a 6,000 pound truck. The motors have 775 foot-pounds torque. This thing goes 0 to 60 in under 5 seconds, and it does a quarter mile in just a hair over 12 seconds, which is crazy for a factory truck. This thing absolutely launches. It's amazing acceleration. Anybody that's ever driven an EV will be able to tell you about the amazing acceleration in these things. No hesitation, no lag. You want to pass any truck, any car when you're driving to a hockey tournament, this is the vehicle for you. This thing is faster than a Ford Raptor, and this thing is faster than any product that Dodge makes. This thing is the fastest pickup truck on the road. Another feature I absolutely love, besides all the cool technology, is going to be the one pedal drive, like a golf cart. You press the gas and you never have to use the brakes. You let off the gas incrementally, car slows down on its own and holds you to a stop without you even putting your foot on the brake. Didn't take long to get used to, and the best thing about it, it doesn't even use your brake pads. It uses the internal resistance of the electrical motors. So now you're driving around all these tournaments all over Canada and United States, you're not going to be going through brake pads. So I absolutely love the one pedal drive. Some other things I love about this truck is the range. When you have it fully charged at home, which takes 5-6 hours to charge at home, this vehicle is going to be able to give you 533 kilometers of range, which is what I'm getting in the winter with these temperatures. And I think it even goes up a little more once you get into the warmer months. So I'll tell you right now, that's a ton of range. And there's a million DC chargers around at every en route stop on the 401, 402. So there's lots of places to quick charge it. It's a mythology that you're stopping every 10 minutes to charge it up. I don't have range anxiety. I can run around all southwestern Ontario doing my clinics and privates fill it up at night, hook it up to the charger at home in the shop, and it's full, ready to go the next day, and I never have to stop anywhere on the road. Now, if you're going on a tournament that's 6 hours away, the computer tells you where to stop, how long it's going to take, and it's normally 20 minutes to 30 minutes at a stop, which every 533 kilometers you're probably ready for a leak and to grab a little bit to eat anyways. So the range isn't an issue, although I will say this: if you're trying to tow a trailer or using it as a work truck to tow a big skid steer or something, it's going to go out of battery in 100 miles. But just to drive it normally like you do as a hockey parent, hauling your kids around, it's going to do a great job, and you're not going to be stuck waiting at all these charging stations. So this is a perfect vehicle for that. Love this truck as a perfect vehicle for a hockey parent, and not filling up with gas is a nice saver in your wallet. And an amazing feature with the technology today is Blue Cruise. Ford has these on a lot of their other vehicles, but this is an amazing scenario. With Blue Cruise, you can take your hands right off the steering wheel when you're driving on the road, and it will keep it perfectly centered. Now, when I first did it, I was keeping my hands near the steering wheel because I wasn't trusting it, but this thing doesn't bounce in the middle of the lane on any divided highway, 400 series, 401, 402. Perfect. It will slow down before it runs into a car in front of you. It will brake automatically if a car comes in front of you. It's super safe. You have to keep looking out the windshield or it'll kick it off. But what a great way to go to a tournament. You have a coffee, take your hands off the steering wheel, your feet off the pedals, and just enjoy the cruise. Talk to your family, talk to your goalie, get them all pumped up on how he's going to play today. So a big selling feature for me on the new F-150 Lightning was the ability to drive a vehicle hands off. Now, it doesn't work when you get a ton of ice and snow, and I wouldn't trust it at that point, but I was driving it yesterday with a ton of traffic on the 401 heading into London, trucks, transports all over the place. This thing is quicker and smarter than me. So another great feature of the Ford F-150 Lightning is the Blue Cruise. I absolutely love it. Another cool feature on the F-150 Lightning is the Sketchpad app that you can use when the vehicle's parked. And I'm going to use it actually today in our next segment when we're talking about some key terminologies that relate to goaltending: angle, depth, and squareness. And sometimes I think the word squareness may be misused. So I'm going to talk about that briefly, and we'll illustrate it here on our Sketchpad when we stop back at the shop. The first term, angle, on angle. If the goalie's on angle all night, they're basically centered in the middle of the net no matter where the puck is. That's what it means to be on angle. You're in the middle of the net, giving the shooter an equal amount to shoot at on either side of the net. So the term, if you're centered in the net all night, perfectly in the middle, is called on angle. Depth is how far you come off the goal line to challenge. Ideally, top of the crease is normally a pretty good depth to use for most scenarios, but depending on guys' time and space, you can challenge a little more or a little less. But as a rule of thumb, a good depth is to always be at the top of the crease. Whether you're playing beer league, minor hockey, or in the NHL, check the next time you get scored on and see if you're in the blue paint. Normally that's a little too conservative depth-wise, and there's times when you need to be back there, but generally speaking, let's try to make your saves at the top of the crease. Here's the one that throws everybody off, and it's sort of my pet peeve, but if you like to use this word to mean certain things, go ahead. But here's my opinion on it. I honestly believe the word squareness is misused, and here's what I mean. Squareness simply means facing the puck. Your belly button, your shoulders, your knees are facing the puck. And honestly, the backup goalie could be square to the puck all night, the referee, the centerman. It has nothing to do with the net. Being square has nothing to do with the net. Being on angle has to do with the net. And even if you look at our description in our video sketch here, you could have a goalie perfectly centered in the middle of the net, but their chest not facing the puck. So yes, they're perfectly in the middle of the net, but they're not square. They're mutually independent terms. Ideally, I'd love the goalies to be perfectly on angle and square. You cover the most net when you're square. So that's my pet peeve. Being square doesn't have anything to do with being in the middle of the net. Being square has to do with how you're positioned when you're in the middle of the net. A key distinction. And the final point to talk about today, nothing really to do with goaltending, but has to do with terminology. And should we pluralize the word offside for offsides? In the NHL rulebook, it's offside singular. It's not offsides. So if a man precedes the puck into the zone ahead of the puck, he is offside, not offsides. That's just my public service announcement. Continually trying to educate hockey parents to sound like they're super up with the accurate, perfect terms for describing their goaltending and their hockey. You're offside, you're not offsides. And if you use it incorrectly, you are offside. All right, a cool feature that we have in this truck is the sketch pad. And I know my granddaughter was playing around on that, but let's see what we can draw to help illustrate those terms I was talking about. All right, so I've got the hockey net right here. There's the goal line, and here's the puck. Here's the shooting triangle. It goes from the post to the puck, etc. So if you want a goalie to be perfectly on angle all the time, they need to be centered right in the middle of that. That is somebody that's on angle all night long. And we can erase that. We can take it and just get rid of it. So being on angle means being in the center of the net all night. And that doesn't matter what angle you're on. So like if the puck's over here, you still want to be dead in the middle. That's called being on angle. It has nothing to do with squareness. That means on angle. So I'll erase that. So let's talk about the next one, which is depth. So when you look at the goalie, when they're playing angles, and I'm going to make the goalie brown here, depth is how far you come out. Sometimes you might over challenge, which could be an issue. Optimal is normally right where the top of the crease is. Sometimes you get to be too conservative. So that's depth. Depth is how far you come out. And the other one we were talking about is squareness. So let's watch this. And this is different than being on angle. And I'll show you the key distinction why I think a lot of people mistake this. So if you're going to be in the middle of the shooting triangle, this is a goalie that's perfectly square in the middle of the shooting triangle, and he's facing at the puck. He's dead in the middle, he's on angle, and he's square, both at the same time. But here's the difference. Watch this. When you've got a goalie, you could theoretically spend the whole night in the middle of the shooting triangle, which is this line right here, but not be square, because I'm facing this way. So being square has nothing to do with being in the middle of the net. Being square simply means facing the puck. So, as my little analogy before, if this is the net and the puck's here, here's a goalie that's perfectly square to the puck. He's facing right at it. You know who else could be square to the puck? The goalie over here on the bench. If he's facing it, he's square to the puck. And Stripes, referee over here, he's not square to the puck because this is the puck here. So for him to square up, he would have to be facing it. So squaring up is different, and being square to the puck all night is different than being on angle. So I hope you all understand that. I think there's going to be a lot of people drawing some pretty goofy stuff on that. Our summer camps have filled for over 30 years. Spots are limited. Every year it fills. I want you in our summer camp. Here's the difference with Future Pro summer camps. We have real credentials, real value, and real results. We talk about the credentials. This camp is run by school teachers, guys that have played and coached and scouted in the NHL. They've been there, done that. Our credentials are unparalleled. This is the only school you can go to with this level of credentials. At our summer camps, we give you real value. We give you 20 hours of ice time, video analysis, small group student ratio. It's the best in the business. We've been successful for 30 years because we run a great program run by teachers for the best value. Why come to summer camp with Future Pro? Because of the results. If you look, we've got 3 goalies in the NHL this year. Logan Thompson with Las Vegas. We've got Jack Campbell with Edmonton Oilers. And we got Jeremy Swayman with the Boston Bruins. Plus all the kids we have in the OHL, college hockey. And over the last 30 years, our Hall of Fame is pretty immense. You can look into our website and you can see our Hall of Fame. Are you going to be next? We want to see you in our summer camps this year throughout southwestern Ontario. We have camps in London, Strathroy, and Goderich. We have many programs that fit your different levels, whether it's developmental level for the entry-level kids, advanced level, elite level, and the prospect camp, which is an application-only camp available to kids that are on their way, already playing high-level AAA, already playing junior, pro, etc. So if you want to find out about any of those levels, reach out to Future Pro now at info@futurepro.com, and I'll get back to you right away.